critique.
Oh,
When
we
we're talking
went
about
into
an
a
internal
conversation.
critique.
We went into a broader conversation that you asked for, like, critiques of the worldview, and I'm giving you a response to that. If you want to go back to specifically the topic, we can go back to that as well, right? But it is the case that I'm just explaining what you asked for.
I didn't ask you to ask
You
me
did. You
that
were
there's some
bringing up
naturalistic
argumentation.
explanation. I'm
You
not
you
here.
brought up the syllogism,
Hold on.
right? You wanted a response to the syllogism.
This isn't a response.
This is.
No, it's not.
This is what the response to the syllogism entailed.
Okay, so you admit that you couldn't actually defeat the argument, so you had to run to an external critique.
What? Okay, wait. What premise did you uphold completely? Like which ones do you think that I didn't critique fully?
I don't think you critiqued any of them. You ran to an external critique.
Okay, well, I didn't go to an external critique. That's not an external critique, but
Wait, yeah,
sure. Like let's.
telling me to prove the Christian
No,
God is
those
true
things-
is an external critique, my friend.
That's you justifying the belief, or I didn't ask you for justification right there.
Wait, yes, you did.
Where did
You
I
said
ask you? Where did I ask you for
did.
justification?
You said why is the Christian God an explanation for why we exist rather than some naturalistic explanation? That's the typical.
Oh wait,
atheist.
true. Actually, I take back. I take that back. I presented that in a way in which I thought I was referencing simplicity. I didn't bring up simplicity yet, so I do apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, I did go to the external critique.
No problem.
I thought I already addressed the prior points in terms of the arguments.
Okay,
What point did you not think I did address?
It's fine. So yeah, so do you want me to run you through the syllogism? I'm happy to repeat it if you want.
Yeah, go for it. What point did you think that I didn't specifically address?
Any of them. I don't think you addressed any. Of them.
Oh, okay, then restate them all.
Yeah. So premise one: to engage in internal critique, you must act as if the thing being critiqued is true. Do you want to go premise by premise and just talk about them, or you want me to lay out the whole thing again?
Just lay out the whole thing.
Okay. Premise two: the Christian God, right? If true for the hypothetical, then necessarily any action that you could propose will, that to contradict his own nature won't be logically possible, right? Conclusion: the atheist is either misinterpreting God's intentions or the Christian God doesn't exist, right? Those are two alternatives, right? And then the premise four is going to be like...
Hold on. Misinterpreting or God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In terms of misinterpreting, you're saying that, like, oh, we just don't understand the characteristics. So you're saying that, okay, but this wouldn't just be the atheist. It would be for Christians as well. So you would say that you would have to reject the reliability of us determining any characteristics of God, not just atheists.
Well, I sort of disagree though, but because essentially, right, you're over here making the claim, right? You're the one who's making the claim here, right? I don't have to prove Christianity for my argument.
Wait, you're the one running the syllogism.
I just have to argue, huh?
You're the one running the syllogism.
Yeah,
George, I appreciate the $5 on Cash App. Thank you, George.
Yeah, but the syllogism doesn't establish God's existence, though.
Oh, okay. So then, like,
I'll tell you what. Let me tell you the conclusion.
yeah, but I was
too.
I was still critiquing a premise that you were bringing up.
Real quick, can I tell
That's
you the
still you
conclusion
making an
too, so you
assertion.
understand what the syllogism? There's a conclusion too, right? So you understand what the syllogism is getting at. Right. So yeah. Okay. So premise four: there is no symmetry breaker, right, between the atheist misinterpreting the Bible or the Christian God not existing. Conclusion two: the Christian God is unfalsifiable.
Wait. Hold up. Can you restate that premise?
There is no symmetry breaker. If you want me to break that down, because it's a little bit philo jargon.
I know what symmetry breaker is.
What happened?
I know what a symmetry breaker is.
Okay, sure, no
Can
problem.
you follow through?
No problem. So there's no symmetry breaker between the atheist misinterpreting the Bible and the Christian God not existing. Conclusion two:
Misinterpreting the Bible and the Christian God not existing.
Yeah, and then like conclusion
Okay, so you're
two,
saying you're essentially saying that, like, they're just as likely to be true in terms of a logical possibility. But I'm also disputing your premise in terms of saying that it's not just an atheist, it's also everyone else that you'd have to accept. You'd have to reject human reliability as it relates to any characteristics of God. So you would reject human perception of revelation, and you'd reject human perception of the Bible.
No, I actually don't, because here's what I think personally. And I have a syllogism for this, but I could just lay out the argument in a non-syllogized form just to make it more simple. I think that if the Bible actually had no contradictions, I think it'd be expected that there would be people who still think that there are contradictions in the Bible just due to there being some sort of misinterpretation, right? Just because the fallibility of our interpretation and not being able to 100%...
So you'd have to justify where I misinterpreted.
No,
okay?
I don't have to do
because
that.
I'm not going off of my basis. I'm going off of the basis of your own claims.
My whole
That's the
thing is contradictions are not going to be a reliable way to falsify the Bible, right? Because I think those things are going to be expected.
Wait, do you think contradictions are reliable to falsify anything?
Wait, that's not true. Of course not.
No, I said are contradictions reliable to falsify anything?
Yeah, for some things, yeah, sure.
So why are they reliable to falsify other things but not this?
Yeah, because the I guess the distinction between that makes the Bible a unique case is that essentially how God is omniscient, right? And you have to understand that we have finite knowledge, right? So when we look at something, we also have finite interpretation skills. So when we look at something,
All humans, not just atheists. You
Yes.
see how now you
Yes.
accept that?
wait, I never rejected that though. Hold on.
You were failing to reject it earlier, but it's fine.
I don't think I was, but it's okay. We can continue.
I mean, accept it earlier, my bad.
Yeah, but anyways, like obviously we're humans. We have fallible interpretations, and then you have to look at the Bible as a hurdle, right? If the Bible was true, that means this is the word of an omniscient God, a God that has all knowledge, right? So it's a bigger hurdle.
Wait, do you reject human reliability? That's my question.
I reject the necessity of the interpretation. I don't think you can necessarily do it. And I think.
What do you mean? I'm confused. So no one can interpret. Okay, so you can't interpret scripture. You can't interpret Revelation.
Not
you have
true.
no information about God.
Not true.
That's your worldview.
That's a straw man. So I said
No,
no.
how's that a straw man? Tell me.
I'll explain. Because I said necessarily, right? So that means 100% a degree. And I also think, right, that if contradictions are expected
Wait,
in the
what
Bible,
to the 100% degree?
100%. I don't know how to rephrase that. Like
No,
having
what
100%
to the 100%
certainty.
degree?
Interpret the Bible.
So we can't interpret it with 100% certainty. Why is your standard 100% certainty?
I didn't say it was 100% certain. That's the thing I'm rejecting.
Okay, so well, if you're relating to a contradiction, you could say that, right? But sure, right? Wait, I'm confused. Are you trying to say that any notion of a contradiction could be something that you've misinterpreted in any circumstance?
Yeah, and I also don't think
A
you should
squared
apply.
circle, could you be misinterpreting a contradiction there?
Well,
Are you just saying that it's most probably false, or are you saying that it's always false?
Well, the thing is about a squared circle, that would be analytically a contradiction.
Yeah, I
Unless-
understand that, but that you're not giving me a relevant distinction yet.
The relevant distinction is you can't say like analytically in the Bible there's some logical contradiction because then you'd have to presuppose that the reliability of your interpretation skills to gauge a contradiction is going to be 100% accurate. But
Okay, so you have to do that in the context of the squared circle circumstance as well.
we know exactly what a triangle is, unless God defines the triangle in another way that we don't understand. Then you can
Oh, we
probably
know
make
what
the
it
argument.
is. Okay, so that's your okay. Again, you're coming at the point in which you have a human reliability and knowing what it is. You see what I'm saying?
By the way,
So
I think
you just assumed human reliability there.
Wait,
why do you
that's-
assume human reliability in one scenario but not the other?
Yeah, exactly, because the Bible has way more factors than a square circle. We know what a triangle is.
More
right?
factors? What do you mean?
Way more factors, way more things to interpret than a square
Oh,
circle.
you're saying it's more complex for
Yeah,
us to
way more
understand.
complex.
Why didn't an all-powerful God make it simpler?
I think that it's the only like no matter it's expected that it's not going to be simple, and even if it was simple and had no contradictions, I expect that.
Wait, no. Why would it be expected given God's all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good? What's the contradiction with God making it simpler?
Well, I never said there was a That's another straw man. I didn't say there was a. It was a.
There's no. So God can make it simpler, but chooses not to.
Even wait. First off, I'm not making a claim that it can be simpler or it can't be simpler, right? Hypothetically, in an epistemic possibility, right? It could be hypothetically simpler, but I don't think that would resolve the issue, right? That you're looking at. The issue is of the interpretation skills. Even if you make something simpler,
No. What
you're
I'm
not
just
gonna
saying
be
is
able to
that God
guarantee-
made it in which we cannot interpret it properly. Then that's your view.
My bad. Could you repeat that?
God made it so that we could not interpret it properly. Then.
No, the Bible if we have free will, right? We have the free will to choose what we want to accept and what we want to deny, right? So the consequence of our free will is not being able to 100%ly, accept certain things. Certain things in the Bible are going to align with our intuitions, and then there are going to be certain things that we reject, right? That we seemingly reject. Right? It just depends on the person, and that's going to be a consequence of their free will. That doesn't undercut the validity of the Bible.
Yeah, but how
in
my
any way.
biology responds to something is something that God determines, right?
You said what?
How my biology responds to something, right? Like emotionally, right? That would be determined by God, right?
No, because then it seems like you're throwing away free will again.
Wait, so you think that humans determine their own emotions?
Okay, so this is gonna get into a whole other thing because like I'm an idealist. I don't know if you know what that is, but I don't want to. I'm not saying you don't, but
How do you refer to it?
oh, like the definition. It's basically like
Yeah, how do you refer to it?
sort
Yeah.
of we now a lot of people might reject this, right? But I subscribe to what Inspiring Philosophy says. He's on YouTube. He makes some really good arguments using.
He's
quantum.
running from Danny.
I literally beat Danny the other day, so.
Oh my God, Crush!
It's on recording, by the way.
Bro, please.
I have recording. I have
please,
recording of him saying he couldn't deal with
please.
my argument, and he called that other dude to 2v1 me. Like
Wait,
I have
please, I'd
literally.
love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I got you. Like, it's all on
I
recording,
have
all on
to see it.
YouTube.
I have to see it.
Okay.
Please, bro. Oh my gosh, the Danny slander is not allowed on my live.
Oh really?
That is unbelievable.
Is that your goat? Like.
That is unbelievable. No, dude, that's actually wild, bro. That's wild. You actually think that you beat Danny? That's crazy.
Oh no, I
bro.
know I beat him. Like he literally said he couldn't deal with my argument, and he brought someone else up to give a response.
Wait, what was the argument on? Was it on like the Bible or something?
It was about if Jesus committed suicide.
Oh, he's not familiar with the scriptures specifically as it relates to that.
Oh.
Is that all he said? Is that you beating him in a debate?
Wait, no, that's not what he said.
Are you kidding?
That's not what he said. Dang. Dude.
What concession did Danny make?
Basically, you want me to lay out both arguments? Is that what you want me to do?
No, I was just gonna ask in a simple context. If you can't do it in a simple context, then we can do it later.
Yeah, I would probably want to do it later. It's not that simplistic. I mean, if anything, I would just rather refer you to the recording. But yeah.
Okay, I'll love to look at it.
I don't know where I would.
And then we can talk about that. You want to do that then?
Sure, we could do that.
All right, for sure. I'll see you then.
Okay, for sure.